Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Hey, it is Friday the 13th. This is supposed to be an unlucky day, but to me, 13's always been lucky. I was very fortunate to be hired by Channel 13 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and those were good years for me. I spent 26 years at WZZM before moving over to Wood in 2001 and spending 24 plus years there. So I've had a great time here in Grand Rapids. But happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Interesting weather day. Yesterday, we had an east wind, and you can see the difference that made in the temperatures. Sturgis down toward the Indiana border, high temperature was 86 degrees. Warm day, Kalamazoo making it to 83. It was a little cooler as you came farther north. Grand Rapids had a high temperature of 77. Now, if you go to the lake shore, keep in mind we had an east wind. The wind was not coming across the waters of Lake Michigan. So at the South Haven Pier, the high temperature was 81, not all that different from Kalamazoo. Holland State Park also at 81 degrees. The Muskegon Pier was 76. That's only 1 degree different from Grand Rapids. But look at Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On the beach there, the high temperature was just 58. So Muskegon Pier 76, Milwaukee Beach at 58 degrees. East wind. If it was a west wind, of course, that would have been just the opposite. We'll take a look at the lake forecast for everybody here. We expect waves to be out of the east-southeast here most of the day. Waves should be around 6 inches to a foot with an offshore wind. And look at some of the water temperatures there. As you can see, we've got 57 at Mears, 62 at Duck Lake, 58 at Muskegon. Hoffmaster's been a little bit warmer than everybody else at 64. Holland State Park reported a water temperature of 57, and Reed's Lake made it all the way up to 72. That's getting pretty swimmable here. And there's a difference of about 4 degrees between sunrise and late afternoon for Reed's Lake. And the thermometer, of course, is pretty close to the surface, but the sun in June is as high as it gets. And because of that, it can warm that temperature up. So if you're going to be swimming in an inland lake, keep in mind that the warmest water is probably going to be occurring around 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, let's move on now and take a look at the fire weather. I've been trying to give you some interesting information here, and every day we come up with something different. The fires in Manitoba have burned an area, this is in central Canada, have burned an area roughly 3.5 times the size of Kent County. So that's an awful lot of forested area there that's been burned by fires. And some of this is natural, but most of the fires that we see up here and elsewhere in the United States are set by human beings one way or another. 6 fires are rated out of control. That's down from 8 at the beginning of the week, so that's good news. 155 firefighters, those 6 water bombers every day we report on those, and 39 helicopters. That's down 4 from yesterday. There are 4 other aircraft, and like I said, I'm assuming those are planes that are dropping chemicals at the time. But there are no air quality alerts for our area, though there's still a little bit of that smoke in the air. That's a loft. You shouldn't be able to smell that right at the immediate ground level. Okay, moving on here to talk about the tropics. Still no sign of any hurricanes developing in the Atlantic, Caribbean, or Gulf of Mexico, and that's through the middle of the month. So that's good news. There is one developing in the Western Pacific, even though they've had very little activity. It's been unusually quiet there. We've had a couple of tropical storms form and one hurricane off of Mexico, and we expect that X that you see there, that red X, to become Tropical Storm Delilah, and that yellow probably won't amount to much of anything. The chance of something developing there is about 20%. When they have 20% out, they shade that area there, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. And Delilah is going to move northwest and will likely head off the coastline. So again, no real problems in terms of hurricanes or tropical storms anywhere in the world here at this hour. So that's good news. All right, we're going to take a little time out here to thank our sponsors, starting with Complete Care Concierge.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here's a look at our headlines. An isolated shower is possible here today and Saturday. We did have a couple of widely scattered showers and thunder showers here Thursday night, but many areas missed out on the rain. I think we'll be dry on Sunday. Chance of rain not zero, but it's only about 5 to 10% on Sunday. Lots of days with temperatures in the 80s coming up over the next 2 weeks. So nothing super hot, but certainly some warm weather ahead, some summer-like weather here. And a storm or two is likely here during the middle of next week in that Tuesday to Thursday period. So for those of you waiting on some more rain, that may be the time to look forward to a little bit of rain here. Taking a look at where there's going to be some rather interesting weather today. First of all, the longest days occur in June, and we've added one more minute since yesterday. 6:03 is our sunrise time, and I think on Flag Day, that's technically our earliest sunrise of the year. Sunset time is at 9:22 right now. Summer solstice is June the 20th, and again, want to highlight sunblock for any of you that are apt to burn. This is the time of year to be using that. Average high temperature has climbed another one here to 79. During the day today, there will be some heavy thunderstorm activity off in the western United States, and we'll bounce over and take a look at that. Kind of a interesting yellow area there in the lee of the Rockies from Montana down to the Texas Panhandle. That's a level 2 or a slight risk. You can see from Grand Rapids off to the south, there is a light green color indicating a chance for an isolated shower or thunder shower, but most areas we'll see a mostly dry or completely dry day. And then we move ahead to Saturday, and same area, but it's down to a level 1 risk. As you can see right there from Montana on down to all the way down to the Rio Grande River. And again, extreme southern Michigan, essentially south of I-96. There could be an isolated shower or thunder shower here during the day. In terms of total rainfall, rainfall activity continues to hit many areas east of the Rockies, not so much here in Michigan, but heavy rains kind of centered on Arkansas and also south central Minnesota up into Wisconsin. Should see some pretty good thunderstorm activity. Keep in mind the severe weather area is a little bit farther west, so some areas getting severe weather, but not so much in the way of rain, and the heavier rain a little bit to the east. Let's zoom into Michigan here just a little bit and show you that area from the Grand Rapids region off of the north only expected to get about 1/10 of an inch of rain. Other areas like down toward the Indiana border closer to 1/4 of an inch. But if you're waiting on some rain, not a lot to share with you. I think many of you will have to drag the garden hose around to give the flowers and vegetables a bit of a drink here. Okay, today's weather looks like this. Temperature about 80 during the afternoon. It will be a touch cooler as you head north toward US 10. And I think with the general east wind once again, lakeshore areas should be approaching 80 degrees as well. On the whole, the day should turn out to be partly sunny and just a touch on the hazy side. Humidity falls to 55% during the afternoon, so that's not bad. We're not seeing these really super humid days, especially with an east wind like this. Taking a look at some high temperatures across the area today. This is for Friday the 13th, about 80 for Grand Rapids. We're expecting temperatures to be at least in the mid-70s, even out on the piers. The pier at South Haven there, even up into the mid-70s. But it will be cooler off to the north. For anybody that's traveling north of Houghton Lake, there is certainly some cooler air up there. And look at the blue up in upper Michigan. High temperature there around Munising Marquette at just 51 degrees, right? And that's right down by the water. So anybody that's traveling to the UP or far northern lower Michigan, maybe Mackinac Island, it's going to be kind of a chilly Friday and Saturday up there. It will certainly be warmer down here toward Grand Rapids and south. And then we move ahead to Saturday and take a look at temperatures. Pretty similar, upper 70s to around 80 in Grand Rapids, maybe 1 or 2 degrees cooler than on Friday, but not bad. And it's still chilly up in the UP. You can see there's still some 50s up there in the Keweenaw Peninsula, Marquette, over to around Tequamanon Falls, that area there. Still jacket weather expected. Take a look at the 5-day forecast here. There's a slight chance that a shower or even a thunder shower could spring to life here Friday and Saturday, but most of the time it wouldn't be raining. It would not deter me from going out to the golf tournament, by the way. There's places there you can hide if it rains a little bit out there, but most areas probably won't see that. And they really had some great scores out there so far. So, like I said, if you're interested in going out to see the LPGA event Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking pretty good, especially on Sunday. Sunday should be a dry day. And you can see temperatures essentially low 80s for the next several days and then up into the mid 80s here Monday and Tuesday. And that period of Tuesday through Thursday of next week will probably catch a couple of thunderstorms coming on through. And that could produce some more meaningful rain. The 8 to 14 day outlook, again, much of the country seeing warmer than average temperatures, the Pacific Northwest on the cool side, but that would give us a lot of days during that period from June 20 to 26 with readings in the mid to upper 80s. So a lot of good beach weather ahead. I think the lake will slowly start to warm up too. That's because of the cooler than average temperatures here. The lake has been a little bit slow to warm up. Remember, May was 2.2 degrees cooler than average here in Grand Rapids. But like I said, we got Reed's Lake up to 72, and I would suspect Lake Michigan will be climbing up through the 60s here in terms of water temperatures. So that's a look at what we have for the temperatures. And then for rainfall, we're looking for near to slightly above average rainfall for the period. I think with the heat building, the general area of thunderstorms, which has been down in the southern United States, is going to start to lift north into the northern U.S. So we've got a better chance for getting into more of a every second or third day picking up a thunderstorm. We'll get in a pattern like that here as we get into the 3rd and 4th weeks of June. And July looking pretty good, by the way. I've been taking a look at what's ahead for there, and it should be a warm and pleasant month here in West Michigan. All right, Michelle is at the airport, so she has left us with these slides for us. And interesting note, I got involved with the planetarium and the Grand Rapids Public Museum when I first came to Grand Rapids here. And I so appreciated that. I used to go to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago and really appreciated the Chaffee Planetarium and everything at the Public Museum, Gaslight Village and the whale and the planes that are in the lobby there as you come on in. But the planetarium is going to be closed here for a week as we're upgrading systems. And once we get after June 15th here, we were expecting a crisper, cleaner, and more vibrant visuals with our slideshows here. So that's certainly something to keep in mind if you haven't been there in a while. There are new exhibits there all the time and plenty that you can see. And you get a rainy day maybe, or a day that's a little bit on the gloomy side. Stop by one of our fine museums here in Grand Rapids. You got the Ford Museum, you got the Art Museum, you got the Children's Museum. Lots to see right around downtown Grand Rapids there. The planetarium that we have there was first opened in 1994, last renovated in 2014. So very interesting. All right, let's move on here. Some baseball news. I've certainly been a fan of baseball all my life. Summer baseball, part of the Grand Rapids Summer Collegiate League. They have 8 teams in Michigan and Ohio play through the summer. Players are not paid. Many are from area universities, Michigan, Michigan State, Grand Valley. Games go on all summer and including June 13th at Marshfield over in Muskegon. So that would be something you might want to check out. I had an uncle who played single A baseball, which is similar to what the Whitecaps do. And I don't know that they got paid for single A way back when. It may have been a time when they just passed the hat through the stands and see if they could collect a few nickels and dimes. But My Uncle George was an infielder and played single A for a while. All right. This is kind of interesting. On June 13th, 1943, the Coast Guard cutter Escanaba, stationed in Grand Haven, Michigan, was lost at sea, attacked by a German U-boat. By the way, if you ever want to see a U-boat, they have one of those at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. Only two of the 103 person crew survived that attack way back when, and that's something that we certainly think about when we have the Coast Guard Festival here in Grand Haven, which is the first week in August, that first weekend. So we salute the Coast Guard. Asian Festival comes up here this weekend. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I did go to that a couple of years ago, and we may go down there for this year too. My wife and I both like Asian food, and there'll be plenty of that down there, plus some performances, educational exhibits as well. That's today until 11 p.m., Saturday from 11 to 11, and Sunday from 12 to 5. Asian Festival, that is at Calder Plaza this year. I believe it used to be at Rosa Parks Circle. It was there for a year or two, but that is now at Calder Plaza. Okay, some theater to see at Grand Rapids Civic Theater. This is Waitress, which is now through June 29, 2025. I haven't been down there since I saw Beautiful with Alyssa Garcia, who was perfect in that role of Carole King. Michelle did did perform in a couple of Civic Theater plays. It's a very good community theater compared to other cities of our size. We're not great, and a few people from Civic Theater have gone on to bigger and better things in Hollywood and in New York City. So you can check out Waitress and now through June 29th at Civic Theater. On this date in 1953, this actor was born in Denver, Colorado. Now that part doesn't give me a clue at this point. He attended Western Michigan University. Well, that narrows it down, and I got somebody in mind here. In 1978, he was arrested at the Kalamazoo Airport for possession of cocaine. Now I know who it is for sure. And he served 2 years and 4 months in a federal prison. But you might know him for narrating Pure Michigan commercials, or I will add, being on the sitcom Home Improvement, if you remember that. We're talking about Tim Allen. His mother used to live up in toward Traverse City, and he had a boat, and there's his mugshot. Oh, Tim, not a good move there at the airport in Kalamazoo. But Tim is a good guy. He really is, and he was in Grand Rapids. I remember for the Grand Prix that we had for a couple 3 years. I think we did the Grand Prix in Grand Rapids. Not something that lasted, but he eventually comes to Michigan. He's a Michigan fan, and it does know a lot about cars and home improvement. So it's kind of interesting. All right. On this date in 1903, Ford Motor Company was founded, Henry Ford, and that's one of his early offerings there. I have a Ford that I drive right now, and it's a great car. I've had 4 Explorers in a row. I've always gone back because my kayak fits in the Explorer, and I don't have to lift it up on top of the vehicle, which would be a little bit more difficult for someone that's managed to make it into his mid-70s here. But I can just lift it up to the back and then shove it right in there, and it fits just beautifully. And that's one of the reasons I've done that. But I am on Explorer, I think number 4 now. But we salute Ford. Ford is a great American company with a lot of good workers, and they are a very big company. They're touting commercials now for how many people that they employ here. And I think we have don't we have a graphic to take a look at that? I think we do. Ford corporate employees employs 88,803 people in the United States. Boy, that's a lot. Another 170,454 work for dealerships in the U.S. And that's really kind of neat. And I think we have one more that's related to Ford here. At the peak in the 1930s, it's 250,000 people worked for Ford, including many women at the time during the war and whatnot. Over 100,000 workers worked at the River Rouge plant. It had a multi-station fire department, police force, and hospital. More than 5,000 people worked in maintenance at the plant. Isn't that something? So it's amazing how far the world has come in like 125 years. If you go back to 1900, I think the average lifespan in the United States was 47. And today for men, it's 74, 75. And I think for women, it's 80. So we have really come a long way in the last century. And part of that is because we've had vehicles and we've been able to shrink the country in transportation. Look at all the trucks that we run, logistics across the United States now. It's pretty amazing. Okay, what else we got here? Blue Lakes Fine Arts Camp was founded in 1966. How many people have attended Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp? Well, my daughter Michelle has attended there. And by attended, I think they mean they were campers. So let's go with that because you could have attended a concert there and just been there one night, and I guess that would count as being attended. But they do some really great things, and if you go to the Blue Lake website, they have concerts there. It used to be that some of them were actually free, that you could go and hear some of the campers. They do wonderful things. They have Blue Lake Fine Arts Radio, where you can hear classical and jazz music. But let's see if I can come up with a number here. I don't know. I guess 100,000 over since 1966, and the answer is 300,000. Holy smokes, that's a lot. Blue Lake is in Muskegon County, northeast Muskegon County there, and that's the wonderful band shell that they have here. I believe that's called the Stewart Band Shell. But you can hear some wonderful concerts there. The Grand Rapids Symphony has been out there during the summer. I don't know if they still do a concert out there or not, but you might want to check them out if you like band, orchestra, not just classical music, but jazz, all kinds of music that they teach up there, and they do an excellent job. Okay, Interlochen Arts Camp was founded in 1928. Many famous people have gone through Interlochen. Josh Groban, some names escape me here, but quite a few. That is up in northern Michigan, up close to Traverse City, and they draw from people. They draw campers and students from all over the world. There are people that you'll find there from France and China and just all over. It's really a wonderful place to be. Let's go on to the next one here. I think we have another Interlochen slide. Yeah, boarding and tuition, $78,725 a year. It doesn't come cheap. I think there are some scholarships available, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really a gem up in northern Michigan. Not everybody knows about it, but they really are at the high end. And if you're looking for a summer camp for your musical student, and you can afford $78,000, and the $78,000 is for the I think for the entire year, or they do run like an elementary, middle, high school there or something like that. But you might want to check that out. But it's really a wonderful musical academy there. Okay, we got some pictures to share with you here from Dave Verhoeven. This is up at Interlochen State Park, which is a fairly big state park. There's a couple of really nice lakes where Interlochen is located there, and a beautiful spot. You can see everything greening up there. Next one from Dave again, and you can see a couple of pictures on the right. Those are wild daisies, which are beautiful and are really coming out. We got a lot of them across the street over by the orchard. And on the left side, those almost look like, to me from far away, look like wild iris. But those are, there's so many pretty flowers at this time of year. On the right side, you can see a couple of dandelions there too mixed in. A lot of wonderful flowers to see here. This is from John Meppelink, and as you can see, we've got a couple of loons there. I've talked about loons before. I remember hearing a loon on Boys Blank Island, and you could hear that loon, 2 miles away. It was a calm, kind of foggy morning, and it was really kind of an eerie sound to it. But loons can hold their breath and go underwater for quite a long time. That was at the Seney National Wildlife Refuge up in the UP, where those 2 loons were spotted. And I think we have one more here, at least one more, from John Doherty up in Benzie County. That's a zoomed-in picture of an ox-eye daisy. And, of course, we have wild daisies. We have the Shasta daisies. My mother was very proud of her Shasta daisies, which she grew in her backyard and looked beautiful. But Benzie County, the flowers are out and looking pretty there as well. Anything else? I think we're done for the day. I want to thank you so much for hanging with us here until the end. Have yourself a fantastic Friday and a great weekend, and stay happy.